everybody, good morning, and I am so excited to be with you because I've got a really fantastic announcement I will be making in just a minute. So I wasn't able to come on Monday. Unfortunately, children have not been well, and it means I'm here today. So we're going to be covering over the next couple of weeks some really useful, easy, simple ways to increase revenue in your salon, whether you are a standalone individual or you have a team. Now, for me, my focus, my area of expertise is in developing teams. However, there are certain techniques and tools that we can use if you are an individual. So don't be put off by my big team. But I want to go through what is going to be happening next Wednesday because I am so excited. Yesterday, but let me come back on here. Yesterday, I published a new revenue newsletter, and in the newsletter, it talks about how we can use a particular style of marketing to assist us in getting more people to book promotions that are up and coming. And it's a type of marketing known as leadership marketing. But I don't feel that our salons yet have really sort of grasped how they can use this simple technique to improve their bookings so that when you go live with this month's offer, the promotion that's coming up, this month only, facials, whatever it is, we can work to prime our clients so that when it goes live, people are on the phone, are online, and are contacting you with I want it, I want to book it. And so I did an article following a training session that I did. I did a training session for 3 days with a fabulous group of professionals in our industry. And I talked about leadership marketing, but I didn't really have time to do anything in depth on how to use it. So I thought, I'll write about it. And then yesterday I shared it. Now, I don't know about you, but I personally don't like to share into groups that I know are people's business groups. I think it's unethical to have someone who's working really hard to build their Facebook followers and then for me to come in and post to their clients. It's unethical. And so I'd posted it to a couple of groups that I know are much more generic. It's a group of industry professionals all helping each other. But as I hit send it, I realized that I had done that. I'd sent my post to a company called Strategies. So I immediately sent a message privately to the owner, apologizing, went over to the group and removed it. But it sparked a conversation with one of the most incredible coaches in our industry. And as we were having a conversation, I thought to myself, I'm going to ask him, would you come on and do an interview with me at some point that works for you to discuss team-based pay? And he said yes. And I cannot tell you how excited I am to let you know that next Wednesday, 2:00 in the afternoon, so if you are busy with clients, then obviously come and watch the replay, where Neil Decoff is going to be joining me to talk about team-based play. Now, if you don't know Strategies, you should do. Go and follow them. They are one of the only companies that I have ever found that I can look at and go, that's what I've done. That's what I train. And we have a very similar way of working. But he has something really unique that I've not used before. And I kind of feel that it would be, again, unethical for me to come and talk to you or to anyone in our industry about something that I don't really know a huge amount about. And team-based pay is a different way of looking at how we compensate, how we pay our teams. And so Neil is going to be joining me next week on Wednesday, 2 o'clock. Just trying to, there we go, to talk about how team-based pay works. He is one of the top business coaches in our industry. So even if you think, I don't think team-based pay is really for me, it will be worthwhile coming and joining us to hear Neil's views, his experience. He has something like 30 plus years experience in our industry, and he's going to come on the show next week, and I am so excited. I have wanted to ask Neil if he would come on for the longest time ever, and I am so excited that he has agreed to join us. So I do hope next week, Wednesday, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, that you will be able to come on and join us. Or if you're not able to, then come and watch the replay, because I think it's going to be a really interesting talk. So what are we going to be covering? I'm going to be keeping this really brief. Now, there's a huge long list there of what we're going to be covering, but we're not going to do it all today. Now, those of you who know me well know I can talk for Britain. So I've decided to do is, this is what our agenda is going to be over the coming weeks. And we're going to be really focusing in on how to maximize targets. How do you get teams to go from either missing their targets and underperforming, or I've brought a new person into the business and I've got to take them from zero to profit. How long does that take? How can we, as the salon owner, inspire our teams to see targets as being something that are fun, are achievable, and how we get motivation? So our topic is going to be focused around what can we do? What can we put in place that means people don't give up? So I'm going to start with the first one that's on our list, is why large money targets don't work for many people in our industry. Now, I've described it as the money mountain. It's like we take this fresh person who's excited and motivated and wants to succeed, and we stick them at the bottom of Mount Everest and we say, climb it, the money mountain. You see, what tends to happen, and not everyone will do this, but a lot of people will do, is that rightfully they join us, we get the contracts drawn up, and part of what is documented on that contract is what they need to be achieving to guarantee their position, what it is they are responsible for hitting in the way of revenue. And please do make sure when you are setting out that target that it does have profit. A lot of times I find people will go with sort of that 3 times their wage, which, when you take into account what our costs are in running the business, is often a break even. Taking it that 3 times their wage will cover all of our costs. So it's really important to make sure that we're very aware and in control of our finances. But 3 times our wage is usually just a break even. So what we're saying is, this is what you've got to achieve as your minimum, is just make me no money. So I would always advise that figure really should have a profit, because otherwise what we're saying is that if you get to here, that's fine. But actually what we really need is to get them that little bit higher, because they're there to make a profit for the business. So we set this figure in play. And let's just say, for argument's sake, it was 5,000 a week. That's what they've got to get to. They're starting with us on a 0. Now, what I tend to see again in our industry is that we'll try and recruit with that. You need to bring a column with you. And it's wonderful if people have a following and people that will come. But I think the statistics I saw in the past was, if you leave somewhere, only around 5% of their client base will follow them, which means either we've got to have a really good marketing plan in place to attract more of those people to know that, you know, Susie is now here, come find her, or we're expecting them to be unethical, either in taking their client details and in theory stealing from another salon. So I have to take it that they're going to arrive with a 0, and it's my job to make them the hero. I couldn't resist, sorry. But it's our job to take them from nothing to a profitable position. Now, how long will that take? Well, that really will depend upon how we motivate them, how we assist them in achieving the result, how much marketing we put in place, and our training plans. But for many people, before we even can get to those stages, the money mountain causes an issue where it affects our motivation and our confidence. You see, if my target is 5,000 a week and I'm starting and I hit on that first week with marketing put in place by a salon owner, a few people perhaps following me, maybe I do 700. If I focus and the focus of the salon is you've got to hit 5,000 and I only do 7, and I do that the following week, and perhaps I improve a little bit each week, but each week I'm still failing. If I'm doing a review with that team player, that new person, which of course, if they're new, we should be having regular communication, regular work with them so that we can keep them on track and keep driving them to succeed. But if I keep failing, I didn't hit it. I missed it. I missed the target. It can end up feeling like that's just impossible. There's no way I can do that. I can't do it, which is why big targets for many people in our industry don't work. If I give up, if I start using words like I can't do it, I'll never be able to hit that, then I'm setting myself up to believe it really isn't possible. And if I do that, I put mental barriers in my way that it's not possible. It's never going to happen. And I can start then a cycle of negativity that will go over a period of time. And that can really damage the relationship between that new employee and the person who's paying the bills. Now, the other side, I believe, is that most people don't come into our industry with a focus on money. They come in because they love the skill, the craft, whether it is hair or beauty. They enjoy working with people. They enjoy being able to see that client who's got that grin on their face as they're finishing off the blow dry, and they can start to see how the colour and cut sits and how they look. The person who gets up from the couch after a massage who's had neck pain or discomfort and they feel better. No one runs out of college. I've always said this. No one runs out of college with I've qualified, I can sell shampoo. We don't focus on the money. We focus on how we make other people feel. And so the other side of big money targets is what I call the salon and spa paradox. When you focus on the money and not the client, you don't make money. But when you focus on the client and forget the money, it rolls in with ease. So my first, if you like, top tip is think about how you are targeting the team. And in the past, I have joked, I've got a bit of paper, would be to, go back to the team, take their targets if they're big targets and they're not hitting them, and start again. Refocus on what it is you want. I want the team to succeed and for clients to be happy. That's my focus, because I know that if we're making clients happy, and I don't mean just, it was nice. We'll talk about the nice zone in a little while. But if I'm really exceeding the expectations of my clients, if I am delivering a service that wows them, and it's not about the service as in beautiful haircut, beautiful skin. It's about what goes around it, how we treat them as people, how we make them feel. Emotion is what drives our booking and buying decisions. In fact, scientists have been able to sort of put it as that any decision that we make as human beings is around 70 to 90% emotional. So what I want to do is get the team focused to how we make our clients feel. And that can't be a money target. It has to be something that's based around clients. Next week, she says, next week we'll talk about CPS, the complete professional service. It is geared and focused to a target that is purely about the client. So if you have big targets, if you have a team that currently are missing them, if you were to take the team as a whole and here are 10 professionals coming into work and 8 of them are missing their targets, I would refocus what I'm going to get them to aim towards achieving. And I would look at removing those big money targets. Now, that doesn't mean that we don't have a money target, but it needs to be something that is relevant and they can achieve. And I'll explain why. Let me give a second. So I'm just going to pop my other slide back up. Here we go. So I would refocus to a team target. I don't think I've spelt that right, but hey ho. We refocus to a team target, and then we can look to shift how our teams work. Now, what happens if we have just the me target? It becomes, I don't know about you, but I have had times, maybe you can relate, where I'll have someone come in and perhaps they've knocked on the door when I have had individual targets in play, because we all learn with experience, and it will be, Julie has booked in Mrs. Jones and she's my client, or someone's come in and purchased some retail that's been recommended by someone else's, recommended by another team member. And it will be that, she's put my client's retail on her, and we end up with this me, mine, and, I. And I don't want a team. That's not team. That's a group of individuals who happen to work under the same roof. And that's not the way that we get the most out of people. So we can shift the focus of the team by using team-based targets, because it becomes the we, the us, the our, and I can get them more unity, a tighter team, if I'm looking at how I use my targets. So in developing a team culture, team targets offer underperformers and new staff a safety with others. It's no longer about how much I do, it's how much we do as a whole. And if I can link some form of reward or incentive, which we will talk about in the coming weeks, to the team achieving that overall goal, then it gives my senior staff a reason to support the junior staff, because the only way the seniors can win and get the reward that they want is if everyone is succeeding. And it starts a culture of let me help you. Have you tried doing? And teams will start to communicate and support each other. So big money targets do not work for many people in our industry until they have mastered the skills of being successful with clients. And to shift a team of people to working together, it is beneficial to put a team-based focus in. Now, I'm going to come to my next slide, so let me just pull it over. Now, this one might sound a strange one, but I never set targets. Now, let me explain what I mean by this. Adults do not like being told what to do. Can you imagine if I stood here like, you are going at the end of this to go away and this is what you're going to do? There is a chance that in your head you'd be like, no, I'm not doing that. You can't make me do that. And that's what I don't want when I'm working with a team. If I tell them what to do, that's like what we do with children. And they're not children. They have the ability to make up their own mind. So I never set the target. I want the team member to tell me, what are you going to commit? Very important word in teams. What are you going to commit to do? I want them to agree what actions and focus they are going to take. I want them to tell me. I want us to come up with an agreement, but I want them to be the one who makes the decision. Because then as they are working, it becomes a lot more, I said I would do it. And because I've said I will do it, I'm more likely to go away and actually put into action what I need to do to achieve it. So what I've always done and have done for 20 plus years, makes me feel quite old. What I've always done is that I will sit with a team member and we'll go through their performance, especially if they are a new team member. So we are just starting out. What I will ask them is that I don't mind if you just do $1, £1, whichever currency you work in, just $1 or £1 more. That can be your target. Now, that might sound ridiculous. If I've got someone who's only doing 700 a week and I need them to do 5,000, and I'm saying just do £1 more, I want them to have a target that is so ridiculously easy that their mental focus is, well, I can do that. I can easily do that, because my focus now is I can. Not I can't, it's not possible, it's ridiculous, she's given me this huge target, there's no way I can do it. I want them to have the focus of, well, that's easy. Now they can choose, as it is a discussion where we are working together, they can choose to give me a bigger target. But if in that discussion they were to go, well, thanks, Caroline, $1 more, that's easy, I can do that. But I'm going to set the target and I'm going to set it at 2,500. If they set a target that is too big, where there is any risk that they might fail, I will discuss and get them to readjust it. What I want week in, week out is success. Because in doing that, we can celebrate something. We get that opportunity of going, wow, so target last week was 701 and you did 820. That's fantastic. Well done. You worked really hard, the marketing's working, and you did a fantastic job. I get to celebrate and to praise and recognize the work that they've done, which gives them a hit of one of the most important hormones, a neurohormone from the brain, which I think is on there. Yes, it must be on there somewhere. Yes, dopamine. Dopamine increases our focus. Now, who doesn't want a team member that's more focused? It increases our short-term memory. So if I am training and developing that person to how I want them to work with clients, in giving them hits of dopamine, it increases their short-term memory. So they're more likely to go and repeat what they have just done in succeeding with their clients. And it helps the training to stick. It gives them a feeling of elation and it makes them bolder. Now, I love that part. I want people who are bold, who have confidence, who there's no like, oh God, I've got a new client in, and what do you think I should do? And I want people who have that like, yeah, I'm up for this. I feel strong. I'm confident. So I'm giving them a hit of dopamine by keeping their targets small, allowing them to succeed. We can recognize and praise their hard work. It gives them a hit of dopamine. They're more likely to take risks. Whether the risk for them is I'm going to talk about retail, because I'm not overly confident with that. But Caroline's been giving me hits of dopamine, and now I feel stronger, more confident. I'm learning from the training, and I feel I can take the risk of telling my client what they need to be doing and how they can improve their hair, their skin, their nails once they leave us. So I never set the target because I want the team to tell me, what are you going to do? I want them to commit, to make a decision that this is what I will do. I only ever ask for £1 or $1 more. They can set the target slightly higher, but I don't allow them to set themselves up to fail. I want constant wins because that improves our confidence. It makes them bolder and they feel good. And that's what I want within the team. So I personally never set targets. But what I do need to do is to work to get my team, the team of people, to get more people into what I call the buying zone. And the best way of going and having a look and seeing, if you want to, if and where your team currently sits. If you have a team that is making clients feel good, the emotional part of the journey is working, then you will see a retention rate at 70 to 90%. Now, I use the words retention. We can use rebookings. I don't use the word requests. I don't like building that request because that becomes my clients. My clients, Julie's booked in Mrs. Jones and she's my client. I like retention. I'm more interested in keeping as many people in the business rather than in one individual's column. If I've got more people going into that buying zone, an emotional experience that makes them feel fantastic, they'll have more confidence and more trust in what we recommend. And as long as the team are giving recommendations, because for a lot of salons, that is where the issue lies, they're not giving the advice to clients, then I should see my retail at that 20, 25 plus mark. Now, it is always dependent on one key thing. I'll pop myself back on for a second. If I've got services that are, say, £150 or dollars for hair service, and all I recommend and can recommend is a product that is around a £15 pound mark, then it's harder to have a bigger level of retail as a percentage, purely because of the numbers. But if I've got reasonably priced retail and my team are doing a good job, they're giving professional advice, they're confident and know how to, big word, that they know how to, then we should see that 20-25% plus. And within my training at the moment, we had a team recently as a whole, the end of the week figure, where the salon finished on 106% retail. If they know how to give the advice, if they feel confident in doing it, our clients will buy. For a lot of salons in our industry, they will sit in what I call the nice zone. And if you see the split, you've got 6% of clients in the average salon will hit the buying zone, and around 80% of clients are sitting in the nice zone. The team didn't do anything wrong, but they just didn't hit enough to make the clients feel enough emotions where they are willing and wanting to make a decision. And that can be switched. We can change that to 80% of clients in the buying zone, 6% in our nice zone. To look and see where your team is, I would look at that retention levels. Look at it individually as a team so that you can get a clear idea of where your performance currently is. 45 to 60% retention is a nice experience. You know, if you were to ask them at reception, and I say this often, it would be that, you know, it was lovely, it was nice, yeah, I had a great time. The tone of their voice gives it away. I don't really feel enough. It was nice, the nice zone. It is a vulnerable position for a salon to be in because If I walk out of that door as a client and my friend recommends where they go, or I see a promotion for another salon, I am vulnerable to go, you know what, they're nice. It's quite nice going there, but I'll just give these guys a go. So it's really important. I personally believe it's essential that we really monitor this closely. And if the team are in that nice zone, training is the key. With our no fit zone, just to give you an insight, no fit clients, either are they have become addicted, they have fallen in love with a particular service, a particular brand that we don't offer. So in my salons, I had Elemis. If they came in and they loved Dermalogica, or I had L'Oreal, but they have experienced Wella, if they've become addicted and love that particular brand, then I can't win them over because they're passionate. They become, it's what we call the halo effect. Nothing will ever compare. It's a bit like Apple. Apple have been very good in creating the halo effect. And those who are Apple fans would never, ever go to a different brand because they are committed to that particular product. The other part of our no-fit client means that something has gone wrong. Either accidentally our team have decided to talk about, say, politics. They've done something, maybe not even realizing, but it has hacked the person off enough that they won't want to come back because they are not even not happy. They're disappointed, vexed, upset, offended, insulted. Something has gone seriously wrong. That causes our no-fit client. Now, I think I've got one or two more slides. Yes. So I spoke briefly. Now, I said earlier, I can't make you do anything, but I would recommend, and it is my recommendation, go and have a look at those individual figures. Have a look at the retention rate. Now, it would be wonderful if we can have it that clients are booking before they leave, that pre-book figure. But I'm more interested in knowing that people are staying within the salon, even if they do leave and contact us at a later point. I always work to try and develop those skills so that people are pre-booking before they leave. But the key figure is that I am retaining and keeping people. So looking to see, am I at that 70 to 90% retention for each person? And anyone within the team who is between that 45 and 60%, it is a training issue on how to look after and make people feel, understanding human behavior. Look at the team performance as well. And then my final recommendation is to look at your lost client rates. It's sometimes a painful one to look at because you can start thinking, oh my God, we've lost 1,000 people. And one of the tools that I spoke about in the training I did last week was to then look at how much in potential revenue was lost. Never do that exercise, though, if it's going to be really hard for you to keep your motivation and commitment going. But do have a look. It will give you a clear idea if the business is in the nice zone in which you are losing people, because it's hard work to get new clients. And so the more that we can, if you like, plug the holes, it's like a bucket with holes in, or I've often described it's like running a bath without putting the plug in. If we're having to constantly fill the salon with new clients, but they're constantly going out of the door and not coming back, we need to solve that issue. And it will be a training issue because most of our colleges and our suppliers do not train how to keep clients, how to increase their spend. Their focus is on the actual skill of the service, whether a cut, a facial, a massage. And it is down to salon owners to look at how do I develop the people to keep the clients returning so that my business grows fast. And you get fast growth by developing the people within it. I think I'm going to just come here. Yes. So I wanted to keep today's nice and short. So 34 minutes, that's not bad going for me. Woohoo. Over the next few weeks, we will be covering more simple techniques, ways in which you can improve your team's performance. Today, we looked at that large money targets. If you have been setting those big figures and the team keep missing them, my advice is look at removing that big target, sit down with each person and let them know, let's start again. You've been doing 600, 800, 1500. All I want is another pound next week. So let's set a new target. What do you feel you could achieve? Then find out from them, what do I need to give to you? What can I do to assist you in achieving that figure? Get them to set the target so that they take more responsibility and are more committed. I hope today has been interesting and useful. And do remember, I'm so excited. It's going to be interesting and fabulous. He really is one of the leading experts in our industry. Wednesday, the 26th, I had to look on my calendar, the 26th, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So we're working with American time. Neil is going to be joining me and we're going to be talking about team-based pay. Oh my goodness, I am so flipping excited. Right, breathe. So, teams, targets, make them relevant, make them easier to achieve. Then look at your ways in which you can celebrate the success. You've done it. You smashed it. Brilliant. What are you going to do next week? Reset that target on a frequent basis every week until they smash it. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, have a fantastic day. I will catch up with you soon. Monday, bearing in mind and hoping that everyone is well in the house, I will be back and we'll look at things. We're going to look at CPS, because I said we would talk about CPS, which is the complete professional performance. It is a client-based target that takes the money out of the equation, but grows revenue fast. And perhaps we'll see if we have time and we'll look at incentives and rewards. Until then, have a fantastic day and I'll catch you all soon. Take care now. Bye.